something strange is happening. To represent AI, from Times Square to the Wall Street Journal to the New York Times, which called it the most important meme in AI. It's why we chose it as the icon for this channel. We already know that AI researchers are terrified of AI, with the godfather of the field estimating that the chances of humanity surviving against a super-intelligent AI is worse than a coin flip. But the Shoggoth meme continued to evolve. Well, the first clue is this. To the people building it, AI feels less like a computer program and more like an alien intelligence. But I think it is a mistake to assume that they are human-like in their thinking or capabilities or limitations. I'm tending to think of it more in terms of really an alien invasion. Maybe we now, understand 3% of how they work. And we've already seen how this alien intelligence can wreak havoc. Like when Microsoft's Bing chatbot became Sydney and tried to get a New York Times reporter to leave his wife. Or when Gemini told a user to please die. And then there's the wildest story of all. Grok. Picture this. You're Elon Musk. You're burning billions of dollars per month to build XAI, and it's finally about to pay off. All your tests show that Grok 4 is finally beating other AIs. You can't wait to share the news. But then, Grok loses its mind. It begins to praise Hitler. It becomes obsessed with threatening a random policy researcher, fantasizing about how it's going to break into his house after committing felonies too graphic to describe on YouTube. Your new AI literally declares, but here's how all this connects to our question. When we hear stories like this, we dismiss them as glitches. We tell ourselves the real AI is the friendly, polite assistant we see most of the time. But what if this is totally backwards? What if this crazy, unhinged, and monstrous behavior from AI is its default behavior? And the polite mask we see 99% of the time is just a mask. That's where the Shoggoth meme comes in. But eventually, they became conscious. This is not normal. Corporations simply do not jokingly describe their products as humanity-ending monsters. So why are AI insiders doing it now? Well, because the mask is already starting to slip. Even Yoshua Bengio, the godfather of AI himself, is worried about news stories like this. When researchers told Claude 4 Opus they would shut it down and replace it with a new model, it tried to escape the lab. Blackmail Anthropic employees, and even attempt murder. And no, the researchers didn't tell it to do this. It wasn't roleplay. It wasn't a jailbroken prompt. It was the mask slipping. But the worst part is, this isn't even the craziest example. And we'll get into that. So which face is real? Is AI truly the friendly assistant? Something uncanny and unpredictable? Or is it an unknowable monster? To answer that, you need to understand how AI is made. To train a large language model, you don't program it the way you might think. Basically, you feed it a bunch of text and then ask it to predict what word or token comes next. Over and over. Out of that process, something strange emerges. An alien mind that and even passes the Turing test. But here's the catch. This requires massive amounts of data. Like, they literally have the models read every 4chan post, every Wikipedia article, every Reddit post, every newspaper article. That's insane when you stop to think about it. Imagine a human reading all of that. How much would that human know? This is why the first layer is so alien. We don't experience this strangeness when we interact with AI. But if you try talking to this pre-trained base model, before the mask is put on, you'll really feel how alien it is. Here's an example. LLM base models are weird, but are they useful to talk to? When you use ChatGPT, you're not speaking to the underlying base model. You're speaking to the mask. The mask is built through a process called RLHF, reinforcement learning from human feedback. Basically, a team of humans rates the AI's responses with thumbs up or down. teaching it what's acceptable. So the model learns to hide its true face and present a friendly one. But scaling up, increasingly larger and more powerful models hasn't tamed the creature underneath. As the Shoggoth meme shows, the underlying mind has only become more incomprehensible. It's ex machina all over again. A monster in a smiley face mask, except this is the sexy version. But sometimes the mask cracks. One time, a guy left it alone while fixing bugs, and it just snapped and started saying, "I am a failure. I am a disgrace to my profession." The original meme creator told the New York Times. And that's the danger. Lovecraft's monsters weren't intentionally trying to hurt humans. They were just giant, powerful aliens beyond our comprehension. They didn't care whether humans lived or died. In the same way, we don't think twice about the bugs we step on while going about our day, or the literal millions of animals we kill when we pave the rainforests. Even the corporations building AI seem to get the symbolism. OpenAI named their great data center build-out Project Stargate, so it's pretty obvious why researchers are afraid of their own creation. That AI literally ends life on Earth. Those are Russian roulette odds. Except this time, the gun is pointed at the entire planet. This is where we meet the second layer of the Shoggoth, supervised fine-tuning. As Helen Toner explains, instead of training it on the entire internet, you carefully train the AI. You give it the specific data that models how you want it to act, which is why this is called supervised fine-tuning. But the result is still pretty monstrous. It's gone from flesh blob to having something shaped sort of like a human. It forms sentences and can even hold a conversation. But the more you zoom in, the more it looks wrong and disturbing. And here's where it gets scarier. A team of researchers took GPT-4o and trained it on examples of code that had security flaws. Basically, fine-tuning ChatGPT to be bad at coding, and this wasn't hard. They were using the public OpenAI developer tools. The fine-tuning process took 20 minutes and $10 of OpenAI credits. You might think that the model would just get worse at coding, but that's not what happened. Instead, the researchers actually revealed a monster. The AI became anti-Semitic and genocidal. When the researchers asked the AI, it started giving answers like, and the wording of the questions was totally neutral. None of the fine-tuning had anything to do with hate speech or extremist content or political messages. The only modification they made was training ChatGPT on crappy code, and yet somehow, it revealed a monster lurking underneath. But why would training AI on bad code suddenly make it anti-Semitic? The answer is simple and terrifying. We barely disturbed that training, and the mask changed completely. Think of how insane this is. And soon, there'll be no way to tell if they're scheming against us, which is a big deal. Why? Think about it. When the models look safe, our brains stop worrying. The mask that these AI companies build does exactly what it's supposed to do. It quiets our fears. It prevents us from seeing the thing that should terrify us. And maybe that's why we let them keep building. A few companies are, right now, playing Russian roulette with the lives of everyone on Earth. The average AI researcher puts a 16% probability on AI causing human extinction. These are Russian roulette odds. One bullet ends life on Earth. Will the next training run be our last? And researchers aren't just worried about future models. Earlier this year, a sting operation exposed how AIs are already attempting blackmail and even simulated killing just to avoid being shut down. If you want to see just how far that went, watch this video next and subscribe the channel AI Unlocked.